Hello and welcome to Bitfumes. I'm your host Sarthak, and this video is going to blow your mind because I'm talking about a AI pair programmer called Aider. You will say, Sarthak, we already have the GitHub Copilot and similar kind of extensions which help me to write the code with the help of AI. I will say yes, but Aider is different. Then you will say, Sarthak, we also have the chat GPT where I can ask any question and get the answer for my coding work, and it can do better job if GitHub Copilot is not working properly. I'll say that's also better, but Aider is one step ahead of these. How? See, Aider can obviously write the code for your application, but it can also create the file for you and put that code inside it. It's not just one file. If required, it can create multiple files for you. And later on, if you want to add more functionality, yes, you don't have to worry. Just ask Aider, it can update the existing file for you. It can also write the git commit with a proper message. It can initialize the git repository for your project. It can also do the code review if you want. You can ask for any error, it will provide the solution for you. And the best part, it uses the Claude 3.5 Sonnet model, which is the best in class model till now for coding assistant. You can also use the chat GPT models, the GPT models. And another best part is Aider can be used with the local or the open source LLM models. So great. So let me show you what I have created with the Aider under 15 minutes. That will again really awesome. So see, this is the item management which I have created using the Aider without writing a single line of code in this entire video under 15 minutes. And not just the front end, it's fully functioning application. You can see I have added the item and it's there. And all these things are handled by the fast API application in the backend. And whatever you see here, this is the Next.js application, by the way. Next.js application using the Tailwind CSS for these kind of designing. And if I try out to see all the items we have, and yes, this API is also working because this is using the SQLite database in the backend. So whatever I said, like SQLite database, Docker for Next.js, for fast API, using the fast API, these post request and get request, the Next.js application with the Tailwind CSS, all these designing, the button description, everything is done by Aider. I have not written a single line of code. How many times I can say this, that I have not written a single line of code, and this is the result. If this can be just in under 15 minutes inside a tutorial kind of thing, what if you can have a proper plan in your mind and then you just keep on asking Aider to update this and that, and it will do all sorts of things for you, and you just need to verify and do a lot of amazing things. Yes, you can do amazing application with the Aider, and that's the game-changing part. Okay, so time to start this video, and make sure to watch till the end, because at the end there is some problem with the Aider which Aider can't fix. If you can fix it, obviously it's not a big deal, you can fix that, but for that you need to watch till the end. So without wasting time, let's get started. Okay, to get started with this, yes, you can obviously visit this GitHub repository. Link is in the description. And you can also take a look into this getting started part, but I recommend you to visit the documentation website, which is basically this website, aider.chat. So here the installation is pretty simple. You just need to use the pip to install the Aider chat in your system, and it can be available once it's installed. So let's try to install it, and once available, then we will able to get started with the Aider. So right now you can see I have created the virtual environment, and I'm doing this inside the virtual environment because I don't want this Aider to be globally installed for now, because I'm creating the tutorial. Now once this is done, then I can simply write Aider and get the help for it. Right, I get the help message. Great. Now let's see what next we have to do. We have to obviously create with the Anthropic API or with the OpenAI. So let's go and do that thing. So I already have this. So here's the Anthropic API key. I'm going to add it, and then I'll start the Aider by just saying Aider. You can see it says just write the Aider and you can get started with this. See, that's the best part. Aider first looked into the root of your directory and says that, hey, you don't have the Git repository initialized. Do you want? Obviously, yes. This is initiated inside my root, but if you want, you can do some code inside your app directory. Now, all the code I will generate through the Aider will go inside the app directory, and this is great. Now, this is done. What next? So it says once you have done with that, then obviously you can get started with the Aider super duper fast. Great. So how do I start? I say like create a Docker containers inside app directory that can run the fast API application, and also add the required files to run the fast API application with example routes as get and post route. See, I have described everything what I want from this. I have described that I need inside my app directory all the codes. I need the fast API, I need Docker container, but the fast API should have the get and post route. Let's see how this will going to perform once we start all these application provided to the Aider. Now, if you are getting any error related to the API keys of Anthropic or maybe OpenAI, try with the OpenAI key. It will surely going to work fine. Now see, once it's done, then it's saying that, hey, I have done all the research. It's now time to create the application files. Now, before saying yes to this level, let's see what it actually did. It actually did by first bifurcating all the necessary tasks it needed for this application. So create a main fast API application, create requirement, create Docker compose, everything is there. Now it says that, hey, on the main.py file, what code you need, all the code is here. And then we have the requirements file, then we have the Docker file, then we have the Docker compose file. All the content of this is written here. You can take a look. If you feel like everything is fine, then just say yes by hitting enter. And you need to do this for every file, and 4 files are applied. And see, every file is now inside of this app directory, which is the greatest part. It's helping you to do all that thing. Now let's take a look into this application, how it is created with Aider, because we have not created any file, we have not written any code yet. Okay, starting from this Docker compose file, which is looking like really nice. It's having the port, volume, building, the container name, great. Now Docker file is having 3.9. see, it's taking the almost the latest one or the best possible version of Python, which is great. Then requirement, installing, copy everything, running everything, command. Wow, that's so powerful. In the requirement.txt we have this main.py file. We said that we need to route, one is get, one is post. So see, it has created even the models which I have not described, but it gone one step ahead and created one get route, one post route for the items. Okay, so that's great. That's great. Let's now try to run this. I will open a new terminal, go inside app, and then I say docker compose up by building it, and let's see how this will going to build, or if we get any error, how we can resolve the error with Aider, because we don't want to write a single line of code in this tutorial. And see, it has completed this docker compose part, and now we have the application running on localhost 8000. Let's try this and go to localhost 8000. Wow, you can see we have this. Now since we have the fast API, I can directly go into the docs to see the open API documentation. Great. So here we have for the hello world, which is great. Next one is a get request for item, but we don't have the item, so we can create the item, and this is an example thing. If I execute it, you can see it responds with this thing, and that's great. That's great. So it's working really nice. Now I want to update this application and store the data in SQLite file. Right now it just return the item whatever I pass. So let's ask the Aider to do this thing. Okay, so I say like I want to store all the item on post request into a SQLite database on my project directory. Okay, and then and also want to get the item on get request from this database. Okay, so I said that what I want, and now request. So can you please update the application inside app directory? Okay, let's see how this performs, because it's going to be a really challenging thing. Right now it is start with SQL Alchemy, which is obviously needed to interact with the database. That means it has also given you what it was previously and what it's going to replace with. So you can take a look into here. You can actually read what it is thinking, what it is planning. So now it has updated the main.py file, obviously with the model, and now it was previously like this, but now it has changed with the SQL database, and a lot of things is here, and finally it should have created the file. So see, it has not yet created the SQL database, but we will going to see how it works, what error we get, because whatever error we get, we will going to pass that error to the Aider and see how that will going to be resolved. Okay, so here we are, and we want to create the item. So with item 10, price tax is 10, and string is ABCD, and let's click on execute. Obviously we will going to get this back, but where we are storing. So let's see, on the main.py, on the post, we have this here. On the db we are saying that, and on the fly it has created the items.db. That means if we get this id and go to the get route on this item get, if I provide 1, it should return the same thing. Wow, you can see, without writing anything, I have created this complex application in few minutes. That's the power, without any error. So see, at this level we have done a lot of things, and it has not yet created any bug, any error. Now let's take a step ahead and want to create a front end for this application, which will be implemented in Next.js. Now this is going to be crazy. Now I want to add a Next.js application that can interact with the fast API inside the container and do the store of item and get of item. Okay, now I said what I want. Then let's request. So can you please update the update the Docker for Next.js application and also add all files needed to run Next.js app. See, you need to describe everything to your aider, otherwise it will not able to do. So I try to describe it in a best possible way, and we need to now wait for this to complete for the Next.js application. I think I don't have to wait because it has started first updating the Docker Compose to add the Next.js part, and which is really fast. It is also updating the fast API, Docker fast API, and does some different kind of things. And see, all these things are there, and now it's asking for creating the files, and I say yes. A lot of file it has created. And finally, if I go inside this, you can see there is a new folder called front end. Then we have the pages, index.js. This index.js is doing all the effort for me to communicate with our backend. It has also created this form which we can use. Wow, that's so great. Let's run this Docker Compose and see if this Next.js is working, and if it is working, can this application communicate with fast API? Let's see now. So very soon it will be here, and finally we can see yes, fast API is working, our Next.js is working. Let's go to localhost 3000, and yes, item management, and it has given the name, all the fields are there. You can see already we have created one item which is added here. So let's try my second item. Description is anything, cost is 10, discount is 0.5. let's click on add, and you can see it's added. If I reload, yes, it's there. And if I check on the documentation, and you can see 2 items are there without writing code. See, we have not written a single line of code from ourselves. Everything is there. Now let's make one more step ahead. I don't like the design we have here. Let's ask to use Tailwind CSS and design the front end we have. Try to use Tailwind CSS and make the front end of Next.js design in better way with all the transition and gradients in the design. Can you please update the front end, and that's it. And okay, so we have given the prompt, or we have given the description what exactly we want. Now it's adding the Tailwind CSS, you can see, and it's updating a lot of amazing things for us. It has added the Tailwind configuration. Now it's adding all the classes to our file on the front end, that means on the Next.js part, and it's doing some other amazing thing. It has added the CSS file. Oh, great things. So let's add the post CSS underscore app global CSS. Whatever it has created, we can see we have it. Now let's rerun our container so that all these things will be reflected and all Tailwind will be available on the node modules, and we are expecting to have a better look from this aider. Okay, so it has again ran. Let's reload. See how crazy this is looking. So there are some problems with this button, but we can fix that problem. And once again say third and something something. Let's add a number. Click on add item. It's working definitely fine. Let's ask to update this add item button to look good. So add item button text is not visible. Can you fix it? Okay, so it's really straightforward. I have not described where is it on the front end or the back end, which file, but it has done the task. And let's reload this, and obviously we need to restart our container, and it's done. And yes, you can ask Adder to make changes in the Docker compose file so that you don't have to restart every time you make changes. And let's see how it has done the thing. Okay, so it has not done a perfect task, and this is I tried. So the add button has been made visible. It says that it made it visible. What changes it did? So previously it had this button text primary. Okay, so it has added, I think, that class with the text primary, but it's still not working. So at this level we got that, hey, this is not that good. What you can do, it's up to you, it's up to your imagination. But at this point we have seen that we have not written a single line of code, and we have fully functioning application ready within 15 minutes. That's crazy, mind-blowing, and this is not going to replace you until you know how these things work and how to use it for your application, for your work. Now, if you feel that this video is helpful to you, consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit the like button, because number of likes give me motivation to create more videos just like this. And don't forget to share this video with your colleague, or maybe on the social media application, with tagging me as @Sarthak Savvy. So see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.